So today I'm going to show you guys how to make sourdough bagels. Now these are 100% sourdough, so let's get started. Our ingredients are going to be vital wheat gluten, salt, cold water, milk powder, brown sugar, and of course our sourdough starter. The first thing we're going to add to our mixing bowl is going to be sourdough starter. And we're going to need about 301 grams of this, making sure that it is active. So usually I feed mine the night before and it's ready for me in the morning. And then the next thing we're going to add to our bowl is going to be cold water. And we're going to need 121 grams of this. I usually add ice to my water, making sure that it's extra cold, which is very vital for bagels. And then we're going to add our organic white flour, using 339 grams of this. If you happen to have bread flour, feel free to use 349 grams of that instead. But since we do not, we will be using vital wheat gluten. Now vital wheat gluten is necessary because it does give the bagels that chewy texture, and we're going to need about 11 grams of this. The next thing I'm going to add is going to be my brown sugar, and we're going to need about 16 grams of this, and it's in replace of non-diastatic malt powder. If you happen to have that, feel free to use that instead. And then we're going to need about 10 grams of salt, and my scale was not reading this, but I know about how much 10 grams is. And then I almost forgot, but we're going to need about 10 grams of milk powder, but this is very important. And then we're going to put our mixer with our dough hook on stir, just to get all the ingredients incorporated. And if you feel like your dough is a little dry like mine was, you can add just a little bit of water to it. And once it's mixed pretty well, we're going to turn it on to medium and mix for another 3 to 5 minutes. And we're looking for this texture right here, a little sticky but pretty tight. And then we're going to take it and roll it out onto an unfloured counter. And I did this for about 10 minutes. And we're just trying to build up the strength of our dough. And once our dough looks smooth, then we're going to roll it into a ball and cover it with plastic wrap and let it rest for about 10 minutes. Once it's done resting, we're going to start cutting them into 100-gram pieces and rolling those into a ball, and then again covering it with plastic wrap and letting it rest for about 10 minutes. And making sure that at all times we make sure our dough is covered, because it is a dry dough, it will dry out rather quickly. And by the end of this, you should have 8 balls. And once we're done with that, we're going to start rolling them out lengthwise. And we're trying to make sure that it's even throughout. And once that's done, then you're going to pinch the ends together and roll that together, trying to make sure there is no seam. And then we're going to place it onto a semolina floured cookie sheet. And I'm going to show you a close-up on how to roll these out. Again, trying to keep it very even throughout. Then when it's long enough, you're going to take the ends and pinch them together and then roll. Now once you've done that to all 8 of your bagels, you're going to cover either with a plastic wrap or a food grade plastic bag like I just happen to have in my house. Again, making sure that no air can get to it. We don't want our bagels to dry out. And then we're going to place in a warm area for about 4 hours. I usually put it in my oven with the light on, and then once it's done with its proofing, we're going to move it to the fridge for another 4 to 8 hours. Once that's done, we're going to bring a pot to a rolling boil and add about a tablespoon of baking soda to that water. In the meantime, we're going to rub off the semolina off our bagels and get them ready. Once the water is ready, we're going to boil our bagels for about 20 seconds each. And if they float like mine happened to, we're going to flip them halfway. Then we're going to take them and put them on a cooling rack with a towel underneath, letting them drain for at least 30 seconds each. And once we've done this for all 8 of our bagels, we're going to put a new parchment paper, and then we're going to add fresh semolina to that parchment paper. Now we will have our oven preheated at 425, and when we're ready to bake the bagels, we will turn it down to 400 degrees. Putting them on the parchment paper, we want to make sure that there's room for them to expand, because they will. And this is the point where you would add any toppings you'd like. I love Trader Joe's everything seasoning, which is what I was using here, but I've also done jalapeno cheese, garlic, onion, anything that sounds good. And you're going to bake them for about 24 to 26 minutes. And you're looking for them to come out a nice golden brown color. Now these are the ones that I made that night. And obviously they're sourdough bagels, so they're going to be delicious, but they're also so much better for you. And if you liked my video, please subscribe to my channel, and I will be loading future videos. Thank you so much for watching.